Hi everybody, welcome to the channel for new battle report. We are on the solo French tournament that I'm playing at the moment. I'm out of the group stage where I was able to qualify with 2 wins, and now it's the start of the knockout phase. So as a reminder, knockout phase, you just need 1 battle point more than your opponent to qualify for the next round. And the knockout phase is kind of long in this tournament. We have a round of 32, then 16, round of 8, and so on. Could last a bit more depending on how I'm able to perform. For this game I was paired against Undying Dynasties opponent, which I was happy because I didn't get much practice against Undying Dynasties. Here you see my list for this tournament. It's basically the combat version that I'm trying out at the moment. So you have big block of Mercvets, 2 big units of Tusker Cav, a big unit in core, and then some satellite unit. My opponent was playing a very strange list, I would say. He was playing Terracotta. So basically he has 2 fighty Pharaoh, one of them flying. So resistance 6, they are really strong. Then he has 4 scoring unit, but I think he doesn't take that much advantage from Terracotta if you compare it to the downside in his list. Basically it makes the Skeleton Chariot a bit better, but then doesn't have a lot of infantry that can take advantage from that, and in compensation for that he's basically losing some precious resurrection ability. But we'll see how that goes. Here he's playing obviously a BSB that combo very well with the Sphinx to avoid losing too many wounds on unstable when you lose combat. Then he's playing a 3rd monster, which is a Colossus. He has a skeleton but can't be ambushed with Terracotta, which is also a bit of an issue for him to activate the chaff properly. We were playing Breakthrough and Bottleneck for this game. I got Slay the Beast, needed to kill one of the Sphinx or the Pharaoh, the most expensive one, and he had Seize and Secure, needed to plunder 1 piece of train, and you see the spell here. Matchup analysis, yeah, he has 4 strong single model, I think that's the key, maybe even 5 we could say with the Colossus as well, and then 2 countercharger unit, which are the Chariot unit. Primary, no need to engage, I have more scoring than him, so basically if we make a stalemate, just go on the opponent deployment zone, I could win it easily. Secondary seems doable, but I need engagement, which is not going to be my game plan, as I will explain later. And his seems very easy. He has the way to move forward and should be able to plunder the train, especially you will see he won the roll for side and was able to make it easy for him. Path to victory for Ogre. A big focus for primary. I don't want any dicey fight against the Sphinx. I think here what I expect from him is pushing with the Sphinx, propose me dicey fight, and if I don't get through, then I get heavily countercharged and I lose a lot of points in combat. Basically that's what I expect. I know that my Ogre unit could kill Sphinx, but it's very dicey and it's more risky for me than him, I guess. UD, try to create opening and set up countercharges when my unit are stuck in close combat. Choosing the side, definitely here the best role, kind of an important role here. Able to play second, and definitely choosing the side to make has a huge impact on UD secondary, as you will see. Estimation negative, I think it's hard to get a secure combat against Phoenix. He has good combat power, so I think the matchup is tricky and dangerous for me, so I would say I would present it as negative, more in a way dangerous for me. I don't have a lot of way to win it big, but I have multiple ways to lose it big, so I need to be very careful in this game. I think that's going to be the keyword here. Deployment wise, we went with the following. So he won the roll for side and took obviously the big flank and gave me the big center, which makes his breakthrough easier, and he can exploit very well the flank, so I think that's the smart choice. I would have done the same. And basically what he can do is by choosing this size, force me to select either the field or the lake has a train to plunder for his secondary, and both are, I think, very easy for him to achieve because the lake is close to the impassable, which doesn't allow me to put a lot of strength here, and the field is very close to his battle side. So yeah, not easy for me here. And then deployment wise, I had to drop the first unit, so we went back and forth. I dropped Tribesman center, Bruce on the left, Yetis on the right. And at some point, I think after 4, he dropped everything and made me start. I get the idea. I think it's quite interesting here to play second. We play Breakthrough, so I get that idea. But at the same time, I was quite happy to get the ability to counter deploy and choose what I want to do. Because you need to keep in mind, I only deployed at this point of time the Tribesman here. So I still had the freedom to go a bit heavier on the right or put less on the right. And I like this uncertainty during the deployment phase, basically. Yeah, my turn 1, therefore. I push Tusker, so maybe as a reminder here, I put Banner of Courage, a great weapon on the left. That's why I'm not marching here turn 1. Here on the back, you have his Pharaoh flying, and those guys are Stalker standard paired weapon, basically. Yeah, pushing a bit forward, try to get some board control. Magic Face, I get Cage of Amber on the Chariot, do 1 wound, Fireball, do 2 wounds, and Crossbow will do nothing. His turn 1 pushes a bit towards me. Start to create traffic on the far right, try to win this flank. Combat, he gets reroll to hit on the Sphinx in case I would attempt anything crazy, which I won't. My turn 2, I start to push on the left. So you see, slowly my game plan is to get an advantage and focus on the primary, like I told you in the game plan. So we'll try to go for the primary, and basically I will put himself in a position where if he doesn't do anything, I'm going to win primary and qualify. So he needs, that's something that I usually do, I want to make him take the risks. And I will be in control then of what I do. So that's the type of game that I like. So that's basically the way I put pressure on him here, despite the fact that he has maybe better combat power than me. Magic Face, Dispel the Cage, I fail Pyroflow, and Fireball do nothing on the Chariot. The same for the Crossbow. He's turn 2, he moves slightly forward. Again, he's trying to, you see here, his own game plan. He's going to try to create an opening here by killing the Yetis and be able to push here while making his secondary, which is going to be easy. So that's going to be his plan that we can also identify. So we have both a way to the victory here, I would say. He gets +1 resistance and heal on the Chariot. My turn, I start to, how could I say, to redeploy my Yetis. I move back 14, and then next turn I'm going to be here to support the Frosty, and together with the Chaff and the Merc to close the deployment zone. That's basically the idea. Far left I continue to push, and here I'm a bit stuck by his Pharaoh. Already last turn he was behind this Impassable, and basically has a lot of fly move possibilities. I think he flies 16, so that's very complicated for me to block, and this basically stick all my Tusker units, so I make sure that he gets no sweet spot. But by doing that, I'm a bit stuck, and my ability to push left flank is not really here. But for the moment, that's fine. I'm thinking my bruiser are pushing on the left, I'm going to score, and for him, he needs to create something on the right, which is not going to be that easy. So I'm still feeling okay at the moment with the situation, stalemate. Magic Face, 4 dice, Cage, get Dispel, Pyroflow, 4 dice against 3 on the Cavalry, kills 2, but yeah, I don't do that much against Terracotta. Fireball kills another 1, Crossbow kills another 1 Cavalry, so I kill total of 4. His turn 3, yeah, he sees that it's not going to be that easy to push right flank, so he starts to activate the game. He flies the Pharaoh in front of the paired weapon Tusker, and then he push with the 2 monsters in the middle. The Colossus chaffing my big unit, and the Sphinx also pushing the Chariot as counter-charger. His Pharaoh get very central, is in the middle unit here, and he push also the right and plunder obviously the train, move a bit the Scorpion to try to tempt me to charge. In a Magic Phase, I dispel +1 resilience on the Pharaoh, which was a key spell. I remember we had I think like a 6-4 or 7-4, and we both put 4 dice and I was able to dispel it. I was quite happy because I think the charge on resilience 7 is not a possibility here for me. He got, in compensation for that, -1 resilience on my Tusker, so at least that's something for him. My turn, let's see how I do react to this aggression with a good counter-attacking play. So I charge with the Tusker, made some calculation, and I think on average I should be able to pop him. I'm wounding on 5+ with Impact, Stomp and Tusker attack, and on 6 with Pet Weapon Guy, but I don't need that much wounds. I have a charge, I have a rank, and I have a banner. So I think it's very likely that he pops, and I can just reform and then look at the Chariot, and I should be fine. I chaff the Sphinx. He can get a long charge with the other Sphinx, but there is no good overrun. And then I put myself in a way that both my unit in the middle are covering themselves. So if the Colossus attempt to charge, I have a good counter charge, so I was fine with that. Like I said, I redeploy my Yetis, but still giving me the possibility to charge on both sides of the Impassable if he tries to push. So I was fine with that. Redeploy slightly this chaff piece. So I'm happy. Turn 4, I start to activate the chaff. Happy to not need it before. I think I have a favorable combat. My bruiser are in the deployment zone, so I'm feeling quite good at this moment. In the magic phase, I get hereditary on his pharaoh with a high roll, so that was nice. But then he's able to 2 dice against 2, he dispel Rod of Battle, 3 dice against 3, he dispel Flaming Sword. So I'm not getting help to kill his pharaoh, but close combat went well. I managed to do 3 wounds, which is slightly below average. He rolled 2 wounds, which is average. And due to combat result, he pops, and I'm able to reform. So that's a good job done. And I think a threat less on the left flank, which opened up also the way for the breakthrough for my other Tusker unit. He's turn 4, he charged my chaff, I passed terror check, and then it started another activation. So he saw that his plan on the left didn't work out. So he identified rightly that he needs to do something on the right flank to try to activate for the breakthrough. The only problem that he has no way to chaff my Frosty with the Sphinx or Colossus or Scorpion. They are all too far away, and basically needs to use the cavalry for that. And the cavalry, remember, we're playing breakthrough. Breakthrough, if you kill a scoring unit in close combat, that's a point. So I think that's also a huge risk for the primary here. And yeah, I saw that straight away when he made that move. I was like, oh, seems a bit strange. I would be happy to trade off my Frost Mammoth for a unit half the point, but worth a precious point on the breakthrough here. So we will see. Colossus move out of the way to threaten the zone. So you see he's able to put a lot of pressure. I mean, you have a Pharaoh, you have a Colossus, you have Chariot, Scorpion, Cavalry. Puts a lot of pressure and just thinks, you're going to kill the cavalry and then I'm going to eat you. That's his thought process here. He makes the charge impossible with the Yetis onto the Scorpion, and if I double charge his cavalry, I have no juicy overrun. I have a Frosty against Sphinx, which is not good. I have nothing with the Yetis, so not very interesting, I think, here for me. In the magic phase, I dispel reroll to hit on the Sphinx in the middle of the board, because I thought if he doesn't do that much on my tribesman, he's not going to pursue, and then I can maybe recycle this chaff piece, which could be very useful. He failed -1 resilience, but then got +2 offensive defensive on the Sphinx. He did like 2 Ogres dead. I did nothing to him. I fled, but he restrained, and I fled exactly in front of his Colossus, which is very good news for me. My turn. I charge with the Frosty, like I said. I want to take that unit down, and I also see if I get stuck. He has no good counter charge because everything is in the front. I should be able to chaff his Colossus, so that depends a little bit what happened with the Colossus, obviously, if I can rally on 8 or not, so that could be a slight risk, obviously. I was thinking the Frosty should be able to deal with the cavalry, but as you will see, it's not as good as I thought on statistic, mainly also due to the terracotta. I push for 2 breakthrough on the left. That's about it, but I think even if... Yeah, I think the slight risk here would be to not rally. And he could potentially attempt to charge here with overrun into those guys, and that could be dangerous for me, obviously. I think here what I could have maybe done differently is to move the other unit of tribesmen maybe that way to make sure I get a chaff piece. I think that would have been a safer maneuver here, maybe, to put the tribesmen in case I continue to flee. I don't know why, but in my mind I was really sure that I was going to rally, so that's why I didn't do it. But if you think about it, it's only 8, no reroll. I can fail it anytime soon, and I think here I could have just placed... I was also sure that my Frosty had a very high chance of getting through the cavalry, which is not true. So I think that's the factor of 2 that made me make this mistake not to chaff, but I think here it's a mistake to not secure the chaff with a second unit here in case I continue to flee, which exposed obviously for him to get 2 chaff piece in 1 turn, but we are turn 5, so I think I can afford that. Magic phase, I get Cage of Ember on the Chariot that are facing my Tusker. Yeah, I found a good reform with the Tusker out of line of sight of the Sphinx. And then the Sphinx has no sexy charge. If he charges into my Mergvet, I have Banner of Ginget, Battle Focus and stuff. I think he's likely to die. And if he charges against my Tribesman, I have counter charge. So I was happy with that. I get Pyro Flow, 2 wounds on the Chariot, close combat. I managed to do only 4 wounds. I expected a bit more, and he managed to do nothing, and he just popped 1 guy because he's in range of the BSB and stuff. So that could have worked. I think if I roll like 6 wounds or stuff like that, he could potentially pop because he would have been out of BSB and he was able to reduce the crumble and stuff. So yeah, I thought it was easy to pop, and then I had a mid-size overrun to get out of line of sight, but I didn't do that much, and I rally my tribesmen, so I was lucky enough for that. His turn, he surprised me with the rule. I thought that the Colossus would have to stay in the point of contact here, but it looks like he doesn't have. He could, according to the rule, move here, and then the Sphinx keeps the point of contact, which obviously is not what I planned for, because I wanted no overrun here. So we got a bit misunderstanding here, but that's going to cost me a chaff. It's not the end of the world. We reposition most of the unit. This turn I'm expecting to get them, and then it's very good for me because it's my turn and I get multiple charge or move options. So quite happy about that. I prepare his cavalry unit to break through, but I should get a point from the cavalry and then 2 of my unit inside his deployment zone, so that should be enough. Magic Phase, he got +2 weapon skill on the Colossus and heal because he suffers some wounds from DT. Reroll 2 hit on the cavalry. Yeah, the cavalry, in case I would charge his Pharaoh unit. Close combat, he pops and overrun from the Colossus. I expected maybe DTs. I thought you can overrun if you get another wound, maybe then close combat of tribesmen could get you. But he didn't suffer any DT. My turn 6, I don't need to engage anymore into the chariot and then risk anything. I just move out of the way. I can let him break through to time. I got 3 points, so doesn't matter for me. I use the very strong unstable block ability to be very solid against some charge, and he has a 5 swift in my flank, and then he could send me a Sphinx, chariot, and maybe the arc, but I believe I have enough wounds to survive that, and I'm going to buff this unit, so that should be fine. And yeah, the frost move out of the way, and that's it. The magic phase, I'm able to get hereditary on my big unit, so he's not going to come. Get fireball, 1 wound on the chariot, and pyro flow, another wound, I think. That's about it, and he kills my tribesman. He's turn 6, he doesn't want to come into combat. I think he could have maybe tried because he was still losing the game, so why not try that? But yeah, I think there is no way that under Children of Umi he does so many wounds that he gets the unit. And yeah, that's about it. We ended up me taking Pharaoh and cavalry. He takes 2 tribesmen, so I win 1 tranche. He gets his secondary. I don't make mine because I need to kill one of the Sphinx and the Pharaoh cavalry. But I make the primary, which moves the score from 11 to 9 to 13-7, taking into account primary secondary. Post-game analysis, happy to counter deploy despite the fact that I was forced to start. I think here to be able to dictate which part of the map we're going to fight and push helped me to be like I was in control of the game. No fight that I didn't want. So I felt pretty in control. I think the slight mistake I did was on the Colossus, which was a risk that if I wouldn't rally and roll like I did, then he can charge into my Frosty and maybe get that. I would still have killed the cavalry, most likely, but he could have got the Frosty potentially. So I think that was a slight risk for me and would have cost me the Frost. UD probably didn't focus enough on primary. I think it was mainly due also to the pressure that he had, that I was taking advantage early on the primary, and this forces him to then try to activate. But yeah, it was really focused on that, and giving away the precious scoring for the chaff wasn't worth it here. 2 opening attempts from UD. I think he made it in the right tempo, but he used the wrong unit. Here the idea was really to use the Sphinx as chaff and not other unit like the Pharaoh, who dies as expected. Turn 4, yeah, giving away the scoring unit as chaff. I talked about that. Slightly surprised by the Frost Mammoth combat. I learned something, that's why I like to check the stat after the games, because here my impression was it's an easy fight, but I forgot Terracotta, change a bit the stuff, and I didn't roll that well, and basically it's quite logical that he sticks. And in that case it was better for me because I rally with the tribesman. Turn 6, no need to charge, but I could have maybe angled the Yeti better, but I think he would have easily avoided any potential charge turn 6, so it doesn't matter much. Some footprint issue with the list, but then I like, as always, the high damage output from Tusker and the mobility of the list and the combat strikes. I have a lot of units that can fight, so Interesting. And yeah, maybe to conclude, qualification is all that matter in those rounds. So I didn't need to take, and I didn't want to take unnecessary risk. Just wanted to win and qualify, and that's the main thing. Guys, thanks a lot for watching the battle report. Talk to you soon on the channel. Goodbye.